Alive and Well is brought to you by Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services.
April is National Stress Awareness Month. It is no surprise that our world is a stressful place right now with the war in Ukraine and a global pandemic and so much uncertainty. That's above and beyond the regular stressors that confront us each and every day of our lives. Dr. Ron DeVries is here from Pine Rest to talk about keeping your cool in stressful situations. Hi, Dr. DeVries.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. This is a good month to talk about keeping your cool.
Yeah, keeping your cool so important. As we said, April, National Stress Awareness Month.
Right.
What do we need to know about stress?
Well, first we need to make sure that we define it and recognize that it's real, it's unavoidable. It takes a toll on us physically, mentally, emotionally. It impacts our relationships. It impacts our motivation. Sometimes our motivation for even getting up and getting going in the morning. We carry it in our bodies and we carry it in our minds.
And
And
it kind of feeds itself, doesn't
and
it?
it does feed itself, right? When we carry it in our minds, I often think of it like expectations become a huge part of it. And expectations can produce our stress, or at least our mental stress. And then we throw in some worry. And then if we give it some anger, that fuels it. And then we throw in some anxiety and we get pushed right over the top and we lose our cool.
Okay, so help us to keep our cool and explain why that's so important to not reach that point that you described.
Right. Well, I love that phrase, keep our cool, because it's really about, keeping calm, staying calm. And, and it's about managing our stress, but it's a discipline, it's a lifestyle. It's more than, it's retraining our brains and sometimes even retraining our bodies.
Mm,
And it's about creating a lifestyle, a calmer, cooler lifestyle that allows those calmer reactions.
mm.
Because it's not just one coping strategy and then I'm going to deal with all my stress.
Yeah.
That is unrealistic because it's so powerful, it's so unavoidable. And then things like you were saying at the beginning, the war, the pandemic, inflation, even going to the grocery store right now can be
Yeah.
a stressful event. And so we have to create and retrain our brains to handle the stressors of even every day.
Okay, so give us the tools. Tell us, how do we retrain?
Okay, the first one that I tell everybody, breathing. And I don't mean just breathing the way you normally breathe. It really is. It sounds so simple, but it's so powerful. Breathe all the way down to the diaphragm. Breathe. Sometimes I tell my clients, breathe so that you feel it in your toes.
Mm,
Really take a deep, deep breath. And then while you're breathing, I like to encourage people to work on finding the positive. Challenge, our imagination. When we reach that breaking point, when we start to lose our cool, our imagination has already gone to the negative place. We have catastrophized this. We've turned this into the pending disaster. We have made this into something that is really, really very negative, and that adds to our stress. And so it can be really powerful to stretch our imagination to go in that positive. Take that deep breath, stretch our imagination. What good can come out of this?
yeah.
What maybe I could learn? Maybe that pending disaster is not even going to happen. Maybe this is going to turn into a success.
Thinking positively. I know you also say surround yourself with positive people. You also talk about gratitude.
Yes, that is such that, but that's part of that lifestyle that I'm talking about, creating a lifestyle. Start each day with 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for. End each day with 5 things that were good about the day that you're thankful for again. Create a gratitude journal. It again creates that lifestyle so that we're not focusing on those negatives, those stressful events, all this stress in our lives. We can say, no, even, even in the war, and not that I'm trying to minimize the war, but it reminds you of how grateful we can be for our freedom in our country, for our homes that we have, for the fact that we are safe with our loved ones. These are things that we can be grateful for.
If the stressors of life seem unbearable and you could use the help of a professional, contact Pine Rest Rest. The number is 800-678-5500. Their website is pinerest.org. Lots of great information, Dr. DeVries. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.